Good evening. Finally made it on live. I'm Lydia Cook, nurse turned life and career coach, and I work with busy businesswomen, entrepreneurs, my fellow nurses. Oftentimes, they're mothers just like me who have other jobs just like me and who are building their businesses, scaling their businesses, or just starting their businesses. And so today, I wanted to come on to talk to you about the difference of how when you're working for someone else, what that strategy looks like for corporations and so forth to grow and scale their businesses versus an entrepreneur. And it's just been something that's been on my heart because I have two businesses and I work for someone else. So I know all too well exactly what this feels like. And I hope I've got some insight to give to you. This is what I do with my clients. I work with them on such things that I'm going to go over today. But I'll tell you, a lot of what I work on my clients with is probably 80% internal work, that mindset work. Okay. Because as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, those are things that you need to work on first to get your strategies in place. I know it sounds kind of funny, but we'll hit that in a second. But again, that's what I work with my clients on mindset, business strategy, social media strategy, all of that fun stuff. And I do it in my Time and Money Accelerator, as well as my mastermind, which launches the first week of April. I'm so excited for that as well. So there's two ways to work with me right now. Again, it's my one-to-one coaching, my Time and Money Accelerator. It's hand holding for my clients. It's customized to them where I talk to them weekly on a call, an hour-long call with my clients. And then also they have access to me almost every minute of the day, except for actually at nights when we're sleeping and stuff, obviously. But I make myself available to them. Now, in my mastermind, it's not going to be that accessible to me per se, but twice a month, I'm going to have an expert speak to the group about strategy or what have you. And then I've got a few things already lined up for the month of April, so it's super exciting. And then also the other 2 weeks, I'll be in there doing Q&A with clients, live question and answers with clients and strategy and business assessments and so forth. So that'll be the fun stuff coming in April. But again, that's my mastermind. To find out more information, just comment wherever you're watching this or direct message me. Might be actually the best way to get a hold of me. Direct message me. Mastermind if you want more information about my mastermind, or accelerator for my Time and Money Accelerator, which is my one-to-one coaching with my clients. And again, I said this yesterday. I don't know if you caught it or not, but the first 5 clients who sign up to be on the wait list for my mastermind will get the mastermind at a huge discount. So again, the first 5 clients to comment mastermind to get more information will get it at a huge discount. It'll be an entry level discount. After the first 5, it will be not discounted as much. Let's put it that way. So, anyways, uh, if you're on Instagram, would you let me know that you can hear me too, by the way? Because I've got a new lapel mic. I don't know if I like the size of this, but I got a new lapel mic. So that way, hopefully, my clients can hear me better with my cell phone being so far away. A little insider tip. So, whenever you're trying to live cast on multiple social media streams, I use Yardstream, and I've paid for an upgraded version so that way I can stream on YouTube, my Facebook page is my Facebook group. What is the other one? LinkedIn. So I've got my personal Facebook. I'm looking up to my right here. My personal Facebook, my business Facebook, my Facebook group as well, my LinkedIn profile, and my YouTube channel. So I'm able to live cast on all of those through Yardstream, but I can't on Instagram. That's kind of cruddy. So I have to do Instagram with my lapel with my phone. So I've got 2 cameras going, which is kind of fun. But anyways, no further ado. I'm going to get into what it's like to work for corporate and to build a corporate business versus what it's like to build and grow a um, entrepreneurial business, or if you're a solopreneur, what it looks like to grow that. So there's a few things I want you to consider whenever corporations are looking to grow or their strategies and so forth. So corporations or large companies have the following in place to be successful. They have they're a large organization, right? So they have strategic processes in place. They have strategic marketing in place. They have strategic planning in place. Um, they have a hierarchy of employees. There's usually more than one person making decisions. You've got that tree effect. You got the vice president or the CEO, and it trickles down to the directors, to the managers, to the consultants, or whatever that hierarchy looks like for that organization. They have established policies and procedures in place, and decision making with such large companies, usually it's strategic. So it takes time. That planning takes time. Certain things happen at certain times early within that fiscal year, um, for trajectory for the next year. Okay. So they can't just pivot quickly. They have to put plans in place and processes in place to make that pivot. There's usually, like I said, there's a lot of employees to get people bought in to their dream, their goal, their thought, their plan. It takes time. Okay. Um, so that's important to note. So everything is very strategic, everything is planned out. It goes through multiple channels to make a decision to get things to go the way they want them to go. But they have this plan, this goal in place. They want to grow by 20% for 2024. So they're making plans now for that year. Um, so it's a little bit different with entrepreneurs or solopreneurs. Okay. With solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, it's usually an individual, a small group sometimes, but usually an individual. Um, they don't necessarily have the strategic plans or processes in place. Uh, they know it takes time, but they haven't really gotten there yet to determine what that strategic plan looks like. They're pretty agile though. So whenever you work for yourself, you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, you can pivot quickly, right? If you notice that there is something going on in your business and you're not liking it at that time, you can pivot very quickly to change. You don't have to run everything up the ladder to make those changes. It can be instantaneous for the most part. Um, Typically, resources for an entrepreneur or a solopreneur are more limited because you don't have that overhead or those resources embedded into your company or your corporation. Um, but they can oftentimes achieve significant success financially because no one is putting value on your time but you when you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. And decision making, like I said, is quick with a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. But the caveat to that is a lot of time those decisions are intuitive. Okay, especially at the beginning of business because you don't have those resources in place. You're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, trying to get as much done as quickly as possible. Because maybe you're at that point where you're trying to pivot from corporate into doing your full time job all by yours, on your own, and leaving that corporate position. Usually, people that are doing that, they've put a lot of thought into their business. They have taken time to get resources in place so that way they can pivot out of that corporate role into their own business and operate in that facet that way. They realize how valuable time is, and they're very diligent in what they do with their time. For me, since I still work for someone else and I've got two businesses, I am very diligent on what I do with my time and when I'm doing things at certain times throughout the day, because I have dreams and goals and aspirations, to for myself and my family to help us get to a certain place where we want to be, right? But I will tell you that solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and corporations have one thing in common, and it all started with a person. A person had a dream, had a vision, and had the foresight to put things into action to propel their vision. So it's not just a vision that they dream about, it's actually being lived full out, full on. So corporations were once entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. They were little when they first started. They were fledglings, right? And then they grew into more. Um, but again, they had to know or have the mindset, that growth mindset, to propel themselves or to put strategies in place to move themselves in the right direction for that growth. And that's why I said, whenever I work with my clients, it's 80% internal work. That is what it takes. It takes 80% internal work. You've got to get that scarcity mindset gone. Okay. That scarcity mindset of, oh, I can't afford this, or, oh, there's not enough business. You've got to completely wash that away, and you've got to be laser focused on that dream, that desire, that goal. So, with that internal work, I bring my clients back to, what's your overall overarching big goal, big vision? And then we backtrack, we reverse engineer that to get it to steps to get them to where they need to be. And those steps are those strategic business steps to help them grow. Because other things too that entrepreneurs face, like I said, scarcity can set in and affect their growth, right? Often focus on day-to-day tasks, so they don't have those resources in place. Entrepreneurs or solopreneurs don't necessarily have those resources in place because they can't, quote unquote, afford it. But then what happens is they never get to that point where they can afford it, or they get stuck at a certain ceiling. They can't break the ceiling of income. Usually it's right about that $100,000 mark, believe it or not. The first $100,000 is usually the hardest to make, but once you get to that 100,000, you're like, how can I make more? And you're like, I can't break the ceiling. I can't break the ceiling. But once you get to $100,000, believe it or not, you've got that confidence, I guess, to know that you can do more. But then you have a whole bunch of scarcity set in, because you're getting challenged, you're pushing yourself a little bit more, and that feels uncomfortable. So to break through that $100,000 ceiling, excuse me, could sometimes be really uncomfortable. And I'm sorry, I think I was saying $100. I would say $100,000 ceiling can sometimes be really uncomfortable. So it's important to have those strategies in place to keep you moving and keep you moving, and working with a coach to help you get through those shifts as they come about, as those mindset blocks come, as the next new shiny object comes. That's something else that new business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs run into is, oh, there's a new course. Oh, there's a new program. You know what? Those courses and programs aren't giving you necessarily the strategy you need to get to where you need to be in your business. Okay. It's just another shiny object. And I know because they get thrown at me all the time. I get direct messages all the time from business owners, from virtual assistants, marketing companies, SEO companies wanting to help me. And I know they want to help me, but I tell them, I'm like, I've already got two coaches I'm working with. I've already got virtual assistants in place. I'm going to focus on this right now. And I tell them legitimately, I say this in my DMs. And if you've gotten one of these, I apologize now. But I say in my direct messages, I get pitched to daily. Please reach out to me again in a few months. Because that's a fact. I get pitched to daily. And but again, it's another shiny object being thrown at me. Now I'm Christian, so I'm going to bring it back to God. I also think too that could be Satan throwing some objects at me, right? So I'm like, no, 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 you don't have this. Okay, I do, because I've got my business strategy, I've got my vision, and I know where I want to go. I've got my end goal in mind. I've reverse engineered it, and I'm working towards those steps. And that's what I do with my clients. And I'm good at it because I've done it myself. Um, I've done it myself twice, actually, but with two different businesses. And I've also been in a multi level marketing company, and I did the same with it as well. But again, I take those goals, we reverse engineer them, and then we move forward with baby goals to our big goals. I work with my clients on that. We break down a big goal into a year, and then we break it down to 90-day increments. And those 90-day increments are what we hit to keep pushing forward towards our 1 year goal. We reevaluate at about 2 months. Oh, are we gonna hit our 90-day goal? If not, okay, where do we need to pivot? Where do we need to shift? The goal does not change. The goal never changes. Okay. Now hear my heart. The goal never changes, but some of our strategy changes. Okay. But that's where scarcity starts sitting in with my clients again. And I'm like, okay, no, no, no. We're not going to let scarcity win. We're going to pivot. We're going to shift. We're going to push forward. Okay, so that's something else with new business owners and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. Again, they don't necessarily have the systems to follow when they first start out to keep their clients on task, to follow up with clients. I had a client not too long ago reach out and ask about CRMs, um, and what I use and how to follow up with their clients. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I'm like, red alert, red alert, red alert. They don't have systems in place to follow up with their clients. You know how much money you're missing because the fortunes in the follow up. And you know what? Don't feel bad about sending emails to clients who have opted into your email list. They want the emails. And if they don't want the emails, they'll opt out. Okay. But I would also push you to reevaluate if people are opening up your emails from you after, 6 months to a year, maybe they need to fall off your email list, or you should send a reboot email of sorts. And I can send you information about that. We can do a training about that actually. But follow up with them 6 months with a reboot email that I like to call it reboot, or re-energize your client email. But you know what? Your clients don't know what you have to offer unless you offer it. Okay. So don't feel bad about sending that follow up email. Because honestly, a lot of times our clients are like us, they're really busy and they want us to follow up with them because they forget. I am so thankful my pest control people send me a reminder that they're going to come spray my house. Because seriously, I forget to book my kids' pediodontist or pediadentist. I don't know. Anyways, pediatric dentist. That's what it is. We schedule the kids every 6 months right there at the office because they know I'll forget. I get an email reminder and a text reminder and a phone call reminder that, hey, your kids are due for another follow-up. We've got you scheduled for this day. Does it still work? My eye doctor does the same thing. Okay. The fortunes in the follow-up. Have those systems in place. If you don't have those systems in place, I know a person who can help you. But anyways, have those systems in place. I work with my clients on setting up that strategic system so that way they've got an idea of what that follow-up should look like. Okay, that's a part of the business strategy I work with my clients on. And again, unclear messaging. If you are unclear with your message, your clients are going to be unclear with with what you're asking of them. Okay. So have that clear message that paints that picture for your client will serve you well. And then not being a CEO or having that CEO mindset. And what does that mean to be a CEO or have that CEO mindset? Having strategies in place to keep your business moving. Having a growth mindset, having a mindset of abundance in money and abundance in resources, just having that mindset and being proactive. Okay. CEOs, big companies, big corporations make it because they're proactive. They start seeing some alarms or red alerts. They start seeing some attrition in their clients and they start being proactive on their marketing. Okay. They've got a cyclical marketing campaign and strategy that they've got with their clients. You know what? Us entrepreneurs and solopreneurs should have that too. Okay, because we will also be successful in our businesses if we have those strategies in place as well. I'm just going through my notes here, making sure I hit everything for you. Um, but again, when we don't have our strategies in place, our priorities aligned, our goals set in stone right there and reverse engineering them, paving that path towards our destiny, then we will fall short. Okay. So it's important as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that we are able to push forward because one thing too, whenever we're not working for a large company or a large corporation, there is no one else pushing us to do well in our businesses but ourselves. Okay. So when you work for someone else, you've got a boss, you've got a manager, you've got someone else that's pushing you so you meet their goal. Okay. But when you work for yourself, you're pushing yourself to meet your goal. Okay. But then also it's hard for you to hold yourself to the flame sometimes. You're like, oh, I'll get to that later. Oh, I'll do this later because you're not disciplining your schedule, you're not guarding your time, what have you. And that's where the pitfalls come and that's where you harm yourself unintentionally, but that's where you start slipping and that's where you start losing traction in your business. So that's what I work with my clients on. That strategy, that coaching. And that's what coaches do. If you don't know what a coach does, that's what coaches do. We help with accountability, we help with strategy, we help to assess where our clients could use a little bit more help with different ideas for mindset blocks and how to get through those mindset blocks with special exercises and so forth. It's kind of like a coach with athletics. So anyways, if you want to learn more about that, we can go about that some other time. But there are a lot of great advantages to be an entrepreneur, and I'm just going to hit a few of them really quickly. Autonomy in running your business how you want, answering to your own schedule. Flexibility, again, flexibility to work from anywhere, whenever, with whoever you want, on whatever schedule you want. Financial awards are phenomenal with being an entrepreneur. You can earn as much as you want. You can earn as little as you want. Okay. But again, getting to that first 100,000 is the hardest, but getting past that first 100,000 is also really hard too. Okay. And that's where coaching comes into play for all of that. Personal fulfillment. If you feel unfulfilled in your role, it's really important that you reevaluate who your audience is. Maybe you need to pivot in your business. But that personal fulfillment is so rewarding to be able to give back to others, to do something you truly enjoy. Because when you enjoy something that you do, it's not work, right? It's pleasure, it's fun, it's helping your community and helping others. It just fills the heart. Innovation, you can do whatever, whenever. You can be as innovative as you want, try new things when you want, and so forth. It's the greatest thing about being an entrepreneur and a solopreneur. Job creation. So you're blessing others with opportunity. You get to grow in your business. I have 2 VAs. I'm blessing them with some work. I have a housekeeper that helps me. I'm blessing her with some work. I've got yard people. I'm blessing them with some work. So you're able to bless others. And again, create jobs for others as well. Skill development. Believe it or not, when you work for yourself, you're learning. Like for me, I'm learning how to sell. I'm learning how to close clients. I'm learning how to present to others, which I had a lot of presenting skills from my multi-level marketing days when I was a director and walking across stage and performing at award ceremonies and talking to others and speaking to publicly with others. So those are things that I've done in the past that I learned through my businesses. So those are some new skills. And then leaving a legacy. Think about the legacy you leave for others when you start a business and when you stick with it and it grows, and the legacy you're leaving for your family. They may not want to take over your business. That's fine. But you're leaving a legacy for your clients, for your community. I couldn't think of the word there for a second, but for your community. I think about whenever I was a labor and delivery nurse, and I think about this with my business too, but when I was a labor and delivery nurse, I treated every patient like they were a family member to me, because that patient I touched had a family member, had a friend, and their experience with me was a ripple effect to everyone around them. And I still run into patients in my community today, and they remember me, and their friends and family remember me. And it's just such a fulfilling feeling to feel that. And it's that same with your business. When you start a business, you follow your dreams and your desires that are placed there by God, then you are leaving a legacy and you're touching lives. Even if it is that you're selling jewelry, there are people there that need that jewelry to make them feel good. I know, because whenever I leave the house and I don't have my earrings on, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little naked. Or makeup. If I don't have my mascara on and leave the house, I'm like, oh my heavens, my eyes look tired. But so what I'm getting at is, irregardless what the product is you sell, irregardless of the service that you have to offer, you're giving something to someone that someone needs. And that is a blessing too. And then overall, the benefits from being an entrepreneur is just outstanding and breathtaking. But again, corporations and large businesses started with a person who had a dream, and they grew it. And over time, they were able to get those strategies in place for planning, for marketing, and so forth. As an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, you have to work hard to keep those to get those strategies and keep those strategies in place. And I would honestly challenge you to start those strategies early, super early. Invest in your business because it's an investment in yourself and it's a blessing to you and to those around you that are watching, to your community, and so forth. So that is all I had today about corporations and businesses. But I would be remiss again not to mention that what's important is having 80% of your work be internal work, being that mindset work. 20%, maybe 25%. I'm just throwing numbers out there, just what I'm thinking of. 20% would be external, having strategies in place and so forth. Okay. I work with my clients on all of this. I work with them on their internal work. I work with them on their external work or their strategies. So that way they have a solid business. They have a solid foundation to grow on. Um, Anyways, and I do that through my time and money accelerator. It's one-to-one coaching. And I also do that in my mastermind, which is super exciting. Again, it's launching the first week of April. Also, the first Tuesday of every month, we have a coaching. It's live coaching. It will be it says 6:30 Central, and I can't remember what the first Tuesday of April is. It might be the 9th, I think. Anyways, the first Tuesday of April is 6:30 Central. That's PM, by the way, not AM. PM is when we'll have the next training. And I'm going to go over some more of my life lessons. The last one I did, my life lessons, the first 15, I will conclude that. And then also give some more social media tips and tricks and strategies that I have. But, anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening. And make the rest of your week a powerful one. It's completely up to you. No one else can do it but you. No one else can grow your business but you. To find out more about me, go to lydiacookcoaching.com. Have a great one.